Closed captioning for Ciao Italia was provided by a grant from the Order Sons of Italy in America.
Ciao, I'm Marianne Esposito, and today I'm in Lawrence, Massachusetts for the Feast of the Three Saints. Ciao, I'm Marianne Esposito, and welcome to the Amalfi Coast. Don't tell anybody, but I planted 2 French varieties. You are so smart, Cyril. Come on, get that baseball arm moving. That's it. And if this doesn't say country Italian, inexpensive, cooking from home, I don't know what does. Did I say a little? Right in there. Isn't that beautiful? This is such an earthy dish.
You know, and my grandmother always used the stems too.
This just reminds me so much of childhood. This is no sweat cooking, really. I could just toss all day. Perfect.
Ciao!
Funding for Ciao Italia was made possible by Mohegan Sun, a dining, shopping, and entertainment destination on the East Coast. Located off I-395 in Uncasville, Connecticut. Mohegan Sun, a world at play.
In Norwich, we sure like to bake. It's the home of King Arthur flour, and we believe in baking with only the finest, all-natural ingredients.
If your last name is Caruso and you have a voice this beautiful, then right here is where you belong, on stage. And that's exactly what Aaron Caruso is doing today, where he's the headline act for tonight's open-air concert. Right now he's rehearsing, and lucky us, we get to listen. Aaron, I'm really looking forward to hearing you sing tonight. That rehearsal was wonderful. So the real thing tonight is going to be great.
Well, thank you very
much. I
much.
hope you'll do a Neapolitan song just for me.
I'll do a special one just for you tonight, all right?
You're the best. See you later.
Ciao.
Ciao. Thousands of hungry people will be walking this street tonight, many of them heading for this familiar sign. Tripley Bakery has been family-owned for over 80 years. Today, Matthew Zappola carries on the family tradition of making Italian breads and pastries taught to him by his father, Rosario. There's so much to choose from here. I don't even know where to start. So Matt, I'm looking right here at the cannoli, which of course, the queen of all Sicilian desserts, right?
Yes.
But this bakery has just a mirage of all kinds of things. So you help make those?
Hey, absolutely. Yep,
And they're a popular seller, I bet.
very popular. We make all the fillings here fresh,
Beautiful.
hand-filled.
All right, well, I'm going to have to get one of those later.
Very
So
good.
I'm checking out some of the other very interesting things you have. Tell me about this.
This is a tiramisu roll. It's a sponge cake rolled out with coffee, mascarpone cheese, coffee liqueur, drizzled with fudge, and chocolate shavings on top. It's very nice, rich and moist.
Yeah, and it's a little different presentation than you would normally see, where you would be making it in a bowl.
Right, it's a roll.
Yeah, beautiful. And
Thank
and these?
This is like a cookie dough, our famous biscotti dough, wrapped around a boiled pudding, either chocolate or vanilla. We call it a pastaciotti.
You call that a pastaciotti. You know, there's so many
variations
of pastaciotti. That's
Right.
interesting.
Yep, this is a closed version.
And then up here, I noticed you have these
The
little...
rum baba, which is
baba. Okay, that's
it's a
very
rum baba.
Neapolitan, you know. Very Neapolitan.
Yep, it's just a sponge cake soaked in rum and fruit juice filled with the boiled puddings, chocolate and vanilla with a cherry on top.
What are these?
These are almond macaroons coated with roasted almonds, a very popular item with all the macaroons that are here.
You know, that's very Sicilian because there's so many almond trees in Sicily.
Right, and a lot of our things contain almonds, which people love.
All right, what else do you have?
Come on, I'll show you.
You know, I recognize these because I make them too, the sfogliatelle.
The sfogliatelle, yes.
But they're really Neapolitan. It's nice that you have a variety of things from Italy here, not only
absolutely.
Sicilian pastries.
Absolutely.
But those are not easy to make, so I bet people
No.
come in here and really love those.
They love them. They love
They
them. Put a
look
little powdered
beautiful.
sugar and they're great.
Yeah. And what about these?
This is a filbert cookie, a cinnamon filbert cookie, which is very popular. People love it. It's a little different.
Looks like a shortbread cookie.
It's like a shortbread cookie, but has a real unique flavor, and it has a lot of filberts, which are delicious.
Now, how did you really get into the business?
Well, it's been in my family for 85 years, and I had the opportunity to go to school, to work in a different industry, but at the same time, I worked here all my life on the weekends and during holidays, and you know, I love working with the family, and I'm going to work really hard. Might as well work with the family, right? So.
And so you're the fourth generation to do
Fourth
this?
generation. My brother and I, Andrew, are fourth generation.
That's wonderful that you kept it all in the family.
Yeah, and we have aunts, uncles, great uncles. They're still here, so they keep us going.
That's
So
great.
We're keeping the tradition
And
going.
they keep the stories alive. That's
keep
wonderful.
the stories alive, and everybody's been working here forever. So.
Now, I recognize these.
This is the toto.
Yeah, the toto.
cookie. This is the chocolate toto and the lemon.
And the lemon.
Lemon toto.
I bet those are really popular.
Very popular.
Yeah.
People ask for them all the time. We make them every other week. Keep them fresh.
And I see for the feast you have the colors of the Italian flag.
We have the Italian flag.
Wonderful.
That's a vanilla wafer cookie that we make here. It's very popular.
And down here, this is something that I think every Italian makes a version of.
That's
you
the
call them,
guandi.
the wandis, which is what they
And
call
you
them
call
here.
it-
We call them janchi.
Janchi.
My
Janchi.
grandmother used to call them rags. Rags,
Right.
because they were just little pieces of dough
Right,
that
they
you
started
fried.
out as scrap dough, and now they're at all kinds of parties, weddings, christenings.
That's a perfect festival food, don't you think?
Yes.
All
It's
right,
a lot
well-
of work, but they taste great.
Do you think you could wrap up a couple of those for me?
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
No problem.
Oh, that was great. But you know, I need to go over there because that's where they're making the famous crispelli. By tonight, the line outside the Italian kitchen will stretch for blocks, filled with hungry people dying to taste the specialty of the house, crispelli. This delicate and light deep-fried dough is served up plain with ricotta cheese or with anchovies. And if you're in the mood for Sicilian rice balls, then these arancine are just for you. Either way, when you taste Peter Messina's Italian festival delights, you know for a fact that food to him is more than a business. It's a passion. First of all, everybody tells me that this is the thing you should eat at the feast, the crispelli.
That's correct.
So these are Sicilian crispelli.
That's correct.
And you're making them with anchovy, but you do them with other ingredients, right?
That's right. With the ricotta, plain or plain sugar.
Okay. And do you fry them only once? I notice you have a batch over here too.
Okay, this is a lower temperature. And what it does is it makes them expand. You see how they're bubbling up?
Yes.
And they're splitting. And then what happened is this temperature is about 40 degrees higher. So that finished the product.
So that and then people come in here and they're all lined up back here to buy this. I mean, I'm gonna have to eat one of these on the spot. But you know, the tradition of this goes back to
It goes back to Sicily, around the Catania and also the Palermo area. What they do is on Saturday night, you know, they would make bread.
yeah.
Of course, there was no much entertainment, so in order for them to get entertained, they would play cards. So the anchovies are normally kept in salt. So they would wrap up a piece of dough that they would make bread out of it. And by frying it with the salt, we'll make them have a glass of wine, and then we enjoy it.
And that was their entertainment when they were playing cards.
That's correct.
And you've kept this tradition up for how long?
We've been at it for 51 years. My
Now-
father started. We came from Europe in 1955,
From Catania.
Catania, outside of Catania. And we started out in just the weekend, and we kept on. Supposedly, we're the only one in the United States. We haven't found another place. But in the same token, there isn't such a big market, because if there was a big market,
You'd be
but
working
this is
day and
great.
night.
The beauty part of it is no matter where the Laurentians or the people from this area moved out, They always come back here because they know this is, their grandmother used to take them here, their father used to take them
So
here.
this is really a comfort food for anybody who lived in this area and
That's
has moved
correct.
away. They come back and they have this.
That's correct.
Well, you know, I mean, my mouth is watering, so maybe I could go out to the front counter and get a couple of these?
Go right ahead.
All right. The parade is about to start. I have just enough time to learn more about the Festival of the Three Saints from my friend Tony Panisi. So Tony, this is the reason why 100,000 people come to Lawrence on this weekend.
It is a
Every
weekend
year.
of faith. It is a weekend in celebration of three young men that laid down their lives for Christianity, for Christ, for love, and for family. These three young men were brothers. They were born somewhere around 230 AD. Alfio, 22. Philadelphia was 20. Torino, 19.
Those were their ages.
Those were their ages. They were young. They were raised in the Christian faith. And the Roman emperor issued an edict that said all Christians must denounce your faith and must worship the gods of Rome. These three brothers stood firm. Finally, on May 10th, 253 AD, Alfio, who had his tongue torn out, his final words were, "You can silence my tongue, but you will never silence my love of Christ, my love of my faith, my love of my family, and my love for you." Torino was put into a vat of boiling oil. Philadelphia was put on a gridiron and roasted alive. The three young men died as they lived. They lived in love for family and love for Christ, and they died in love of family and in love of Christ. During the weekend, Viva Sandafio, you will hear us yell Viva Con Vede Vide, with true faith. Viva Sandafio, the literal interpretation is long live St. Alfio, but the prayer is long live St. Alfio, but long live faith, long live love, long live your family, long live your hopes, and long live your dreams. And that is the story of these three young men.
And the reason that they are celebrated here in Lawrence is because the immigrants who came from the area that they were from
and
brought those customs here.
86 years ago was the first feast. They worked the mills right across the street. The Italians were very instrumental in the strikes of 1912, but they brought this tradition with them. The tradition in Italy and Sicily is well over 500 years old. And 86 years ago, the Italians that came here to work the mills took this tradition with them.
Now, as the saints are paraded in the streets, people will often pin money to them.
Right.
I want to talk a little bit about why that is.
Well, the money, the three saints are put onto a vada, and they're marched through the Italian neighborhood here. And people, the tradition is you raise your little children, and you have $1, and the children will come and kiss the feet of the statues in respect, and the money is put onto the saints. And it's money to help use to defray the cost of the feast. And all money we raised is used for charitable. We send money to an orphanage in Italy. We have various charitable functions that we send that money to. Any proceeds is all sent to charity.
Well, Tony, thank you very much for giving us the history of the saints, and I
Thank you.
hope that they are going to work a few miracles tonight and through the weekend for the feast.
I'm sure they will. It's faith. And I thank you for the opportunity to talk about
Grazie
that.
a lei.
Thank you. Grazie.
Members of the St. Alfeo Society march on streets that were once filled with Italian families living and working here in Lawrence. A lot has changed in the past 86 years, but not the tradition of La Festa. How do you prepare for all these people? How do you make all of the food for them? What are the popular things they love to eat?
The most popular things here at this feast is the rice balls, sausages for us. We go through a lot of those.
So you make the arancini.
Arancini.
Do you make them with different fillings?
No, just ground beef, mozzarella, and peas.
Okay, I remember peas are very popular in an arancine, but my grandmother used to put ham, bits of ham in it. Sometimes she made a ragu sauce for the arancine. Typically Sicilian, right?
Yeah.
Street food.
Yeah.
So this is perfect because everybody's out on the street tonight. And then the sausage is what? Pork sausage?
Pork sausage, yeah.
And how do you serve that? Do you do it with peppers?
Peppers and onions. We have hot sausage or sweet sausage.
And that looks like the line is absolutely loving the sausage and peppers tonight.
This is a sausage feast.
How long have you been involved in this?
2 years.
But is this your family business?
No, actually, we brought it off a cousin, so it has been in the family a little bit. But we have a pretty good staff. We have a guy who's been here about 80 years old now. He's been here for 15, 16 years. He keeps coming with the building. And this guy's unbelievable.
Now, I spotted calzone over there. So what have you got in the calzones?
Calzones, we have an eggplant calzone.
Ooh, that sounds good.
A meatball calzone, an Italian cold cut calzone.
And I would think that the eggplant calzone would sell very well because it's very typical of Sicily, right? Eggplant.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, I'm spotting those arancine there. They look really good. I wonder, I got to go to a concert. Do you think you could wrap one up for me to take? Okay, I love that. Thank you so much, Greg. Okay. You don't have to be Italian to love the Feast of the Three Saints. For 3 wonderful days and nights, you can come here and celebrate Italian food, fun, family, and tradition. Buona festa!
can make authentic Italian recipes using only a few ingredients. Ciao Italia 5-ingredient favorites brings you first courses, main courses, desserts, and more. It's fully illustrated, autographed by Marianne, available on the web or at this number.
Tender cut of meat. So
Learn more about the culture and cuisine of Italy's many regions and prepare many of their unique recipes by visiting Marianne at her website, ciaoitalia.com.
So I see you, Nella Cucina, again. For almost 200 years, the people of Naples saw the Church of Santa Chiara, but not the secret garden hidden behind it. The only ones who saw this beautiful cloistered garden were the Sisters of St. Clare, who lived in complete seclusion from the outside world. But the outside world was not shut out to them, at least in the hundreds of creative scenes captured onto Majolica tiles by landscape architect Domenico Vaccaro. In 1729, the convent abbess commissioned Vaccaro to create, quote, a garden suitable for the decorum of noble ladies. And while Vaccaro's garden design was traditional, geometric, and suitable, his tile decoration designs for the pillars and benches was wildly Neapolitan, filled with blazing suns, ripe lemons, blue skies, and scenes from modern-day Neapolitan life, as lived by peasants and princes alike. All of this beauty remained a secret, seen only by the nuns until 1924, when they moved to another convent, and the Franciscan friars came here. Soon after, they opened the garden to the public. Only in Naples will you find such a masterpiece of Neapolitan life, thanks to Domenico Vaccaro. And while you're visiting the cloister, be sure and look up. There you'll see a remarkable collection of frescoes painted by an unknown artist in the 17th century. The subject matter ranges from religious figures on the bottom to allegories and virtues on the top. The Church of Santa Chiara was closed the day we visited, but that's a perfect excuse to return to Naples once again.
Funding for Ciao Italia was made possible by Mohegan Sun, a dining, shopping, and entertainment destination on the East Coast. Located off I-395 in Uncasville, Connecticut. Mohegan Sun, a world at play.
In Norwich, we sure like to bake. It's the home of King Arthur Flour, and we believe in baking with only the finest all-natural ingredients.